Dennis and I had worked together for a number of years when I was writing professionally for a publisher. My publisher knew Dennis, and so he connected us in the very first demo I did as a Sony writer I did with Dennis. And I was very impressed, obviously, with his musicianship and what he brought to the table as a producer, but also I was really impressed with him as a person and his heart for Christian music and doing it with integrity. So when I started the process on my album Grace and Gravity, it was kind of a no-brainer that Dennis would be involved, just because by then he and I had become really close friends, and I just have a comfort level in working with him. But I will say too that he just has this very disarming personality, so that like if you've never met Dennis or spent any time with him, you instantly feel pretty at ease around him. So I think he's a great choice for young singer-songwriters or artists that maybe are new to the studio experience, because I think he just, from that very first time that I worked with him, he always made me feel really, really comfortable in what could be, an awkward, stressful situation for somebody that's never done it before. I just think he does a really great job of making everybody feel comfortable and at ease. Whenever I'm finished in a session with Dennis, I always feel as though he's pulled something different out of me. And it's funny because we've worked together for a number of years now, and I would think he knows all my tricks, like he knows the whole bag. And I tend to go into a session thinking that he does, but then inevitably by the time we're done, something will happen, and I'll feel like I accomplished something that maybe I didn't know I could do, particularly when I'm singing. I think he does a great job, did a really great job on Grace and Gravity, because I had sung some vocals in another environment that I wasn't really happy with, so we came in and we started redoing things. And it's very easy to kind of get locked into what you did and try to replicate what you did. But in those situations, Dennis was able to inspire something different for me. And there's just a better energy and a better feel, and I don't know, he just manages to create an environment where I feel free to be stupid or feel like, I'm going to try this and it may sound dumb, but at the end of the day, it's exactly what I need to happen. I think that when you're choosing a producer for your project, I know that it's a big investment of money, first of all, but also of time. You're going to spend a lot of time with your producer. I think that your personalities should click, and it's hard to know that on just, one meeting or an email exchange or whatever. Don't make your choice simply on budget. Budget is always, a concern in our economy today, and people don't have a lot of money to make an album. I totally understand that because I'm one of those people. But I think that you have to think about more than just the money. You have to think about how is this person going to contribute to my ministry, my artistry, because the producer stamp is going to be on what you do. And some artists come in with a great vision for what their project's going to be, and Dennis can help facilitate that. And that's been my experience with Dennis. But then other artists may come in with less of a vision, maybe just a group of songs, and say, hey, I want to record these songs, I want to make an album. I think it's important that your producer be able to be that visionary, to help you pull things together, and create a cohesive whole, for an album, more than just a group of songs. And I think Dennis does that very well. I've seen evidence of that on a lot of projects that he's worked on, and I sing background vocals on a lot of things that he produces for other people, so I hear kind of what he does from the rawest beginnings all the way to the finished, and I think he does a great job of either furthering the artist's vision or helping them capture a vision for what it is that they need to accomplish with the project that they're trying to do. For me personally, picking a producer, it was important that it be somebody that I enjoy spending some time with, because making a record is a very time-intensive process. It's not always fun. And obviously there are decisions that have to be made. Sometimes, you differ between, your producer and yourself and what you think is important or how things need to go. Fortunately, Dennis and I are good friends, and so communicating with Dennis has never been an issue. So it's very easy for me to, speak up if there's something that isn't going the way I envisioned it or whatever, and likewise he does the same. I think we make a really good partnership because we do trade ideas and bounce ideas off one another, and we work together so much that there's just a comfort level for that. But I think that even somebody that hasn't worked with Dennis will find really quickly that he's very diplomatic, he's very tactful, he's very gentle. I think new artists are afraid of getting into a studio situation where they're going to be, where the producer's going to be heavy-handed, or you're going to end up making the record the producer wanted to make instead of the record you wanted to make. And I can vouch that Dennis has never been that. But I think for me, going into Grace and Gravity and the things that Dennis and I have worked on together, I really wanted to have a good time. I wanted to enjoy the process, and I knew that with him I would. And I think that, it's good to be like-minded creatively, spiritually. If you're doing a Christian album, I think it's important that you know that your producer appreciates your faith and what you're trying to communicate. And Dennis is very grounded in his faith. I think all those things are important to consider, and those are all things that I thought about going into Grace and Gravity. And lots of other things. We've done a lot of demos and a lot of things that are important to me, even down to a song that I wrote for my daughter recently. Going in with him was just the obvious. I wouldn't go anywhere else to produce a song like that. It was very close to me. So I think that going in, I just wanted to know that the process was going to be good, and that the end result was going to be what I wanted. And it's never been a question for me where Dennis is concerned. I would absolutely endorse Dennis for any up-and-coming artist. I think he's a great choice for anybody that's going through the process for the first time.
So till my attic's bare, the neighbors can stop and stare. No,